Welcome to our presentation on how to apply for bachelor's studies at Lund University. This is the fourth instalment in our series of recorded sessions designed to guide you through the exciting journey of joining Lund University and making a complete and correct application. Let's get started. Thinking about applying for bachelor's studies at Lund University? If so, you probably have plenty of questions about how to make a complete and successful application. Don't worry, we're here to guide you every step of the way. Let's dive in. The first step is always to find a program you're interested in and eligible for. Let's explore the programs available. At Lund University, we offer 10 bachelor's programs, all fully taught in English. These programs are all 3 years in duration and cover 180 credits. Visit our webpage at lunduniversity.lu.se/programs to explore the full list of options. Each program webpage includes an overview of the program, a detailed fact sheet, and essential information about entry requirements, selection criteria, tuition fees, and information on the application process and how to apply. Here, you can also find student testimonials and links to chat to our student ambassadors to hear their first-hand experience of studying at Lund University. When figuring out which bachelor's program or programs may be a good fit for you, checking the entry requirements is an important first step. There are a few different types of entry requirements you have to consider, so let's go through them all. First up, we have the general entry requirements. In order to meet the general entry requirements for bachelor's studies in Sweden, you must have successfully completed your upper secondary school studies by the document deadline. You must also be able to demonstrate that you meet the required level of English 6. On universityadmissions.se, you can find details on how to prove your English language proficiency. Depending on the country where you completed your upper secondary studies, there may also be additional country-specific requirements you have to consider. Go to universityadmissions.se and check out the country-specific page for the country in which you completed your upper secondary studies. Remember that the country-specific requirements are based on the country where you completed your upper secondary studies, not the country of your nationality or where you are living, so be sure to keep this in mind. If you studied in more than one country, you will need to check several country pages. In addition to the general requirements mentioned, you must also meet the program-specific entry requirements of the program or programs you want to apply to. Check the information under the tab Requirements and Selection on the program webpage for more details about the entry requirements for the specific program. So, have you found a bachelor's program or programs which you're interested in and eligible for? Great, it's time to get ready to apply. So, when should you actually apply for bachelor's studies at Lund University? Great question. Our bachelor's programs are open for applications twice a year, for studies starting in late August. The international application round runs from mid-October to the 15th of January, while the later round, also called the Swedish application round, runs from mid-March to the 15th of April. Note that none of our bachelor's programs start in the spring. As mentioned, the international application round runs from mid-October to the 15th of January. In this application round, all of your documents are due by the 1st of February. Admission results are announced in early April at the same time for all applicants. All students, whether you are Swedish, EU or non-EU, can apply for studies in the international application round. Our international bachelor's programs are also open in the later application round, also known as the second application round or Swedish application round. This round runs from mid-March to the 15th of April, and the documents are due around mid to late June. Admission results for this application round are announced in July. We want to highlight that non-EU citizens should not apply in the later round. This round is mainly suitable for Swedish or EU or EEA citizens. The admission results from this round are only announced in July, which means that non-EU citizens would not have enough time to pay their tuition fees and receive a residence permit for studies on time for the start of the academic semester. Also note that non-EU citizens generally have a housing guarantee, and that is only valid in the international application round. This means you would also be responsible for finding your own housing if applying in the later application round, and this may be difficult if you're not already living in Europe and are potentially unable to visit the city ahead of the semester. So to summarise, the later or second application round is only recommended for EU, EEA and Swedish citizens or other applicants who do not need a residence permit for their studies. International students should apply in the international application round. This may mean that you need to take a gap year between your upper secondary school and your university studies. All applications are made online via universityadmissions.se. This is the national application portal to use when applying for studies at any Swedish university. Start by creating an account. When creating an account, make sure to add an email address you have access to and check regularly. The email address you provide will be the one we use to communicate with you during the application process and if and when you are admitted to studies at Lund University. After you've created an account, you can choose the programs you want to apply for. You can apply to one bachelor's program and 7 backup options at any university in Sweden in your application for studies. Remember, only apply for programs you are eligible for. If you apply for more than one program, it's very important that you rank your program choices in order of preference. You can only be offered admission to one program in your application for studies, and the program you have selected as your first choice will be the first program allowed to offer you admission. If they do not offer you admission, the second choice in your list may do so. So the program you want the most should be ranked as your first choice, and the others should be considered as backup options. Due to this, we encourage you to carefully consider the program which you place as your first option. You have to rank your program choices in order of preference by the application deadline. You cannot add programs to your application or change your ranking after the application deadline. See key dates and deadlines for the application round of your choice at universityadmissions.se. Once you've selected your programs and ranked them in order of preference, you must also make sure to submit all supporting documents to University Admissions in Sweden by the document deadline. Once again, see key dates and deadlines for the application round of your choice at universityadmissions.se. The documents you must submit are the following: a record of completed upper secondary education. Note that preliminary or expected grades are not accepted. You must have your final transcripts. You must also submit your awarded degree certificate or diploma, as well as proof that you meet the required level of English 6, and of course, a copy of the page in your passport with your personal data and photograph, or another approved identification document. In general, there are no program-specific documents required when applying for bachelor studies. However, note that our bachelor's programs in art and music have additional application instructions for you to follow. If you have already studied at a university level, you may also submit documentation of this, such as your transcripts of completed courses and a degree certificate in the case that you've already received one. You must still always submit your upper secondary school records though, even if you have completed higher level studies. When you submit your documents, there may be country-specific rules you have to consider in terms of how to submit your documents. Check the country-specific rules for the country in which you completed your upper secondary studies. You can find these at universityadmissions.se. If you're a non-EU or EEA citizen, you will be required to pay an application fee to University Admissions in Sweden for your application to be processed. Note that this application fee is administered by University Admissions, not Lund University. The application fee must reach University Admissions in Sweden by the application fee deadline. Check the key dates and deadlines for the application round of your choice at universityadmissions.se. The application fee is 900 Swedish krona. You only need to pay one application fee for the application round, even if you're applying for more than one program at any Swedish university. Go to universityadmissions.se to find details on how to make the application fee payment. We recommend using a credit card for this payment instead of a bank transfer to ensure a seamless process. If you are an EU or EEA or Swedish citizen, you are exempt from the application fee, but you need to submit proof of citizenship status for the admissions application to be processed. A passport or an ID clearly stating your citizenship status will be sufficient. Note that it can take some time for your citizenship to be registered by University Admissions, so don't worry if the status in your universityadmissions.se account does not immediately change. The deadlines are strict. So it is important to note that exact key dates and deadlines for your application depend on the application round in which you apply. See the most updated application key dates and deadlines for both application rounds at universityadmissions.se. Once you have made an application, your application is then assessed by admissions officers at university admissions in Sweden, not by the university or program staff. Note that you will not receive a confirmation email to confirm everything has been successfully submitted. It is your responsibility as an applicant to make sure you submit all required documents following the instructions on universityadmissions.se. You will only be contacted by the admissions officers if anything is missing or must be corrected. In other words, it's often a positive sign if you are not contacted by the admissions officers. Any mistakes detected by the admissions officers must be corrected by the document deadline, so make sure to check your university admissions account regularly for any messages. Also note that the processing only starts once you've paid the application fee or proven your exemption, so we recommend you do this as early as possible before the document deadline. So, when will you know if you've been offered admission or not? If you apply in the international application round, admission results are usually announced in early April, whereas if you apply in the later Swedish application round, admission results are announced in July. All students receive their admission results on the same day via their university admissions account. Let's end this presentation with some top tips for a successful application for bachelor's studies. Start by checking all the entry requirements before applying to ensure you are eligible for the program or programs you wish to apply for. Check and follow the country-specific rules for the country in which you completed your upper secondary studies. Make sure you have all required documents ready to submit by the time you apply, including your final upper secondary documents. Submit your documents and pay the application fee early on, or prove your exemption. No one will look at your application until you have done so. Stick to the deadlines, they are strict. Finally, check your emails regularly, even your spam folder, just to be sure. Do you still have questions about how to apply for bachelor's studies? If so, you can always contact the International Student Recruitment Team. They are happy to assist you through the application and admission process. You can also chat directly with our student ambassadors if you would like to hear their first-hand account of their time at Lund University. Go to our website, lunduniversity.lu.se, to find more details about our degree programs and the application process. You can also watch our other video presentations about Lund University and how to connect with us. We look forward to receiving your application.